If you're using print calls to debug your Python code, consider using f-strings with self-documenting expressions. We have a program here that makes a random math prompt and it validates whether the answer that we give it is correct. Except it doesn't work right now. It always tells us that our answer is incorrect. Now, we could try to debug this code by adding some print calls, which will print out what our answer is and what the expected answer is. Although right now you can see that they look the same. They look the same because we're printing out the human readable string representation, which is what print does by default, and we really want to be printing out the programmer readable string representation. Although instead of doing that, let's use f-strings with self-documenting expressions, which makes our code a little bit shorter as we're debugging here, and also makes the output a little bit more helpful. So you can see here that Python's automatically printing out answer equals and then the actual result of answer, and the same with expected. And it's also printing out the programmer readable representation instead of the human readable one, which makes it a little bit clearer that answer is actually a string and it's supposed to be a number. So hopefully we've just fixed our code by turning that string into a number, and it looks like we did. To make a self-documenting expression, first make an f-string, but also put an equal sign at the end of one of the replacement fields in that f-string. That's what makes this replacement field into a self-documenting expression. That tells Python to print out not just the result of that expression, but also the expression itself, with an equal sign in between the two. Now, I'm saying expression here instead of variable because this works with any expression that you could put in an f-string, not just with variables. Now, it's a little bit strange to do this, but you could also use format specifications in a self-documenting expression if you wanted to. You just have to make sure to put them at the end after the equal sign. So here we're telling Python to use commas as a thousand separator. Again, though, that's a little bit unusual to see. Another feature of these, though, that's actually pretty common to see, and I really like, is that you can put spaces around that equal sign to make the result a little bit more readable. It puts spaces around the equal sign in the result. I pretty much always prefer to put spaces on either side of the equal sign in my self-documenting expressions. If you're debugging Python code with print calls, consider using self-documenting expressions in f-strings to make your debugging a little bit easier.